All right, so who hasn't dreamed of hanging out on the Central Perk set from Friends, right? Or maybe you're more of a Gilmore Girls fan and picture yourself strolling through Stars Hollow. Well, get ready because today we're taking a deep dive into the Warner Bros. Studio Tour Hollywood.
And you guys sent in a ton of great stuff for this one forum, discussions, YouTube videos, you name it. We've even got some official info from Warner Bros. And Get Your Guide to round things out.
Basically, if you're even thinking about visiting the Warner Bros. Lot, this is your ultimate guide. Stick with us, and we'll make sure you know exactly what to expect before you even set foot in Hollywood.
Speaking of Hollywood, that's actually our first little curveball. The studio isn't in Hollywood proper, it's actually in Burbank.
Oh, okay, so more of a suburban LA vibe.
Exactly. It's a working studio, which is part of what makes it so cool, but it also means you got to plan ahead. The standard tour takes about 2 to 3 hours, but they've got these deluxe options that can last up to 6.
6 hours. Wow, that's dedication.
For the true film buff, it's a dream come true. They even have a special tour focused on classic films, hosted by Ben Mankiewicz from TCM.
All right, I'm officially intrigued. So, practical stuff. It's open 5 days a week, closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays with tours starting every half hour from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
And let me emphasize book online beforehand. Don't chance it with walk-up tickets, especially if you're visiting during a busy time.
Good advice. Now, we saw a lot of people mentioning Get Your Guide for booking. What's the deal with that?
It's basically your one-stop shop for all things Warner Bros. Studio Tour. They handle tickets, sometimes have special packages, and they even offer free cancellation up to 24 hours in advance.
That flexibility is a lifesaver, especially when you're dealing with travel plans.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Okay, so now let's get strategic. One of the big debates we saw in the forums was about the best day to go.
Weekends versus weekdays, right? What's the consensus?
It's tricky. Weekends might give you more access to the backlot areas since there's less filming going on, but if you're hoping to spot a celebrity, weekdays might be your best bet.
So it depends on what you're after. Are you more starstruck or more interested in seeing the sets themselves?
Exactly. Figure out what you're hoping to get out of the tour, and that'll help you decide.
And timing matters too, right? Especially in LA traffic.
For sure. Getting an early tour might be the way to go, especially if you're driving in from somewhere else. Plus, you might beat some of the crowds that way.
Makes sense. So once you're actually there, where does the tour kick off?
It all starts with the Storytelling Showcase. It's basically a journey through 100 years of Warner Bros. History.
Ooh, sounds like a crash course in movie magic.
It really is. They don't just give you dates and names. They actually dive into how the studio has impacted entertainment, all the innovations they've been a part of, and even some behind-the-scenes stories.
Okay, I'm hooked already. And then you head out to the back lot on the tram, right?
You got it. They've got all these iconic sets like Midwest Street, which Gilmore Girls fans will know as Stars Hollow, plus a New York Street, and even a Brownstone Street.
And what's wild is how they can reuse these sets for so many different things.
It's incredible. One of the YouTubers pointed out how Midwest Street has been everything from The Music Man to Pretty Little Liars, all on the same stretch of pavement. It's real movie magic.
My mind is blown. So you mentioned the back lot. What about sound stages? Can you actually see filming happening?
You can't actually film because they need to protect productions that are in progress, but you might get a peek inside, which is still pretty cool. You really get a sense of the scale of things.
I bet that's something else. Then there's this area called Stage 48 Script to Screen. It sounds super interactive.
Oh, it is. They've got something for everyone there. You can design your own Batmobile, try out a Foley artist simulator. You know, those people who create sound effects. It's a great way to get a taste of the whole movie-making process.
A Foley artist simulator. That's a new one.
It really shows you how much work goes on behind the scenes. We tend to focus on the actors and directors, but there are so many talented people working behind the camera.
Totally. And of course, you've got to get those pictures in front of the iconic sets. Central Perk, Sheldon's apartment from The Big Bang Theory.
Even Harry Potter's cupboard under the stairs. It's amazing how just being in those spaces, knowing what happened there, makes it feel like you're stepping right into the story.
Right. It's not just a set. It's like a whole world.
Right.
And they have those dedicated areas for the DC universe and the Wizarding world, too.
Full of props and costumes and interactive exhibits. You can put on the sorting hat, practice your wand moves.
And get that forced perspective photo where it looks like you're catching Harry Potter's Hogwarts letters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They really nail the immersive experience, and the attention to detail is incredible.
Okay, so now let's talk about some of the hidden gems and pro tips we picked up. On the Classics tour, you get to go to the prop house.
Oh, it's amazing. They've got artifacts from some of Warner Bros. Earliest films. You can practically feel the history.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Classics Tour, that TCM one hosted by Ben Mankiewicz sounds incredible.
It really shows how much the studio values its history. It's a reminder that film is about so much more than just the latest blockbuster.
And if you really want to go all out, they have those deluxe tours with all the bells and whistles.
You get to eat at the studio commissary, check out their exclusive screening rooms, even peek behind the scenes in departments like costumes and props.
That's like the VIP treatment.
Mm.
Okay, so some practical stuff. Photography's allowed in most places, but no video recording. Got to keep those movie secrets under wraps.
Of course. And don't forget about the Warner Bros. Studio store. It's full of exclusive merchandise you won't find anywhere else.
The perfect way to end your tour. But, you know, besides all the planned stuff, it's often those little unexpected moments that really make a tour special.
Oh, for sure. The YouTube videos were full of those. One person said their tour guide pointed to a random building and swore up and down that Casablanca was filmed there. Turns out it was a total joke.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Are you messing with me right now?
Nope. Apparently, the only exterior set left from Casablanca is this tiny little cafe facade. The guide was just testing their movie knowledge, having a little fun with them.
I love that. It's those little surprises that make it so memorable.
Right. Another YouTuber was on a tour when Anna Faris drove by on her way to a soundstage. The guide actually shouted to her, and she came over to say hi to the group.
That's a cool encounter.
It just shows you never know who you might run into on a working studio lot. That's part of the magic of it.
Okay, I am convinced. But with so many tour options, the studio tour, the Classics Tour, the Studio Tour Plus, and even a deluxe tour, how do you choose?
That's where those Get Your Guide listings are really helpful. They break it all down, how long each tour is, what's included, the pricing. The standard studio tour seems like a great overview, but the Classics Tour sounds perfect for anyone who loves old Hollywood.
And if you want to go deeper, those extended tours, the Studio Tour Plus and the Deluxe, give you even more behind-the-scenes access. Plus, you get perks like lunch at the studio commissary.
Exactly. Just remember to check the official website or Get Your Guide for the most up-to-date pricing.
Good point. So let's say we've picked our tour. What should we be prepared for on the day of?
Comfortable shoes are a must. You'll be doing a lot of walking, even with the tram rides.
Makes sense. You don't want to miss out on anything because your feet hurt.
And don't forget your ID. You'll need it to get in.
Noted. Anything else we should pack or avoid bringing?
They don't allow big bags, so pack light. And remember, photography is encouraged, but no video recording.
Right. Got to keep those secrets safe.
Yeah.
So anything we can do to prepare beforehand, even before we leave home?
Here's an idea. Pick a specific film or show that was filmed at Warner Bros. And do a little research on it beforehand.
I like that. Adds a personal touch.
Imagine being able to stand in the exact spot where one of your favorite scenes was filmed. It's like a pilgrimage to a place that means something to you.
Brilliant. It's like adding a scavenger hunt element to the day. Like,
yeah.
Where was that iconic scene from La La Land shot?
Exactly. Or, which building was Lorelai Gilmore's house in Stars Hollow? It makes it even more fun and memorable.
I'm totally doing that. It's like having a cheat sheet for the best moments.
And you'll have a deeper appreciation for the history and detail that goes into those sets. You'll start seeing them as part of the story, not just a backdrop.
I can already picture myself walking through Stars Hollow.
And quoting Friends lines at Central Perk. It's all about finding those personal connections.
Speaking of connections, the tour seems like a great option for families, too.
Definitely. We saw lots of mentions of kids getting sorted by the sorting hat and posing with the Batmobile.
It's a fun experience for all ages, whether you're a film buff or just looking for a unique day out.
And who knows, maybe it'll even inspire the next generation of filmmakers.
No, that's a legacy.
Absolutely. It reminds us that the Warner Bros. Studio Tour isn't just about entertainment. It's about inspiration and the power of storytelling.
So we've covered just about everything you need to plan your own Hollywood adventure.
But before we wrap up, let's leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder.
All right, lay it on me.
Picture this. You're walking through the studio lot and you see a crew setting up for a shoot. You don't know what they're filming, but you can feel that creative energy in the air.
Ooh, I can practically smell the popcorn.
In that moment, you're witnessing the very beginning of a story that could captivate millions of people around the world.
Wow, that's powerful.
And it reminds us that the movies and shows we love, they all start somewhere. They all start with an idea, a spark of creativity.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be back at Warner Bros. For the premiere of our blockbuster.
Now that's a thought worth holding on to.
It is. So dream big, Book your tickets and get ready to experience the magic of Hollywood.
And don't forget, we'll have the Get Your Guide booking link in the show notes so you can start planning right away.
Happy travels, everyone.